Good day, race fans, and welcome to this installment of Flattrack Canada's web series, courtesy of Outlaw Productions. We're here in Burford, Ontario, for this half-mile track, which is shaping up to be one radical day.
And with our show intro being done, we're going to go right to our first commercial break.
All right, everybody, Kyle Shepard here from Outlaw Productions, standing with Aaron Hesper from Flattrack Canada. Now, Aaron, we had a really successful weekend last weekend at Paris to start off the season. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Paris went really well. It was everything that we expected. The weather wasn't on our side, but you know, it's an event that's going to slowly build up over years, and every year that we work away at it, it'll get bigger and better. But we had really good positive feedback, and really not a lot of negative feedback, which is a step in the right direction.
Now, we're out here at Burford today. What's the difference between the Burford track and the Paris track?
Paris is a deep cushion surface, which is it gets loose and really rough, and it's big sweeping turns, long straightaways. Guys really like it, and they just kind of hang on to the bike. Today, nobody's really ridden this track before, so it's interesting to see what it'll be like. But it's a D shape. It's a large 3/8. It's not even quite half a mile, but it's going to be really interesting. And I took a look at it earlier, and I thought it'd be nice to even crack out a bike for myself today.
Right on. Well, that's going to start our show here today, so keep an eye out for Flattrack Canada. Check out their website at flattrackcanada.com, and we'll take it from there. All right, everybody, wandering around the pits here, ran into Bob Bauer. We're going to do a little team talk video. Now, Bob, what got you guys interested as a family to get the team going?
We took Hunter there when he was like 3 years old at the track in Welland, and ever since then he just wanted to be on the bike. And then now we got him a little JR50, and been like this ever since.
Right on. Well, in Hunter's experience, and I mean, obviously you being his mechanic and stuff like that, how does that work, the camaraderie between father and son for you?
It's awesome, actually. It keeps us together, and he helps me work on the bikes, and it really is a team sport. Everybody gets involved. She does the clothing, and I do the bikes. So.
I'll keep it simple that way too, right? Now, with last season, why don't you touch up a little bit about how Hunter did last season and what you guys are aiming for this season?
Hunter did awesome last year, first year on the 65, and he really took to the gearing in that, and came out national champ, number 1 at Paris, number 1 at Flattrack Canada. So this year I got picked up the 85 from him. We've been working on it, and he seems to take it to it pretty good. We're going to go down to the Amateur Grand Nationals in Springfield, Illinois.
True enough. Well, it's that atmosphere that keeps everyone together here at Flattrack Canada. So thank you very much, Bob, and we look for that number 24 bike of Hunter Showtime Bowers. All right, everyone. So walking around the pits, ran into Mike Alaska. Mike is our official head referee, or judge, I guess you could say, for Flattrack Canada. Now, Mike, your roles in Flattrack Canada, we see you going around inspecting the bikes, getting everything ready. Why don't you talk a little bit about what you do for prepping the guys to make sure their bikes are safe?
Yeah, our basic thing is safety here. It always has been. We basically check to make sure that the bearings are good, spokes aren't broke, chains are tight, exhausts are tight, no leaks on the bikes, all to do with safety for the riders and the spectators.
Now, one of the things that I noticed that you do too on the track is when you're the flagman, you kind of come out on the track a bit and you get a little close to those riders. I mean, we all get our adrenaline rush going by you at like 100 miles an hour there, but what's it like for you?
It's a big adrenaline rush there. My main thing is a lot of times the riders are focused, and if I'm not close to them, they don't see the flags. But I'm cautious as well not to get in the riding line, eh? You know, and the last thing you want to do is fall in front of a bike.
Yeah, that wouldn't be any good. But keep an eye out for Mike out on the track waving those flags and inspecting everyone's bikes in the pits. All right, everybody, ran into Don Taylor here, the #1 plate holder for Flattrack Canada. Now, Don, you had a great weekend last weekend. Let's touch base on that.
Yeah, you know, definitely was a great way to start the weekend. I had bad luck at the Paris weekend last year, so to come away with 2 wins, I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better start to the season.
So what are you looking forward to here today? Because the Burford track's a little bit different, different compounds in the track itself. But what are you going to do to set up your bike?
We're going to go out and practice and just take it easy, feel the track out. This is a new track for everybody, so we're all on the same playing field right now. You know, I think definitely just figure out what lines are going to work and, you know, get the bike set up, tweaked into where we want to be, and, you know, just basically work on putting in consistent laps all day long.
Right on. Well, keep an eye out for that #1 plate.
It's time for our second commercial break.
While the riders are prepping and stretching, we're going to get a hot view in the center of the track to get set for the races. Pull out your lawn chairs, viewers. It's time to shred.
All right, race fans, it is time for the production frame intermediate class here. You see Rob Churchill getting lined up on the outside. Caitlin Hesmer going by, letting them know how many laps they're going to do. I believe that was 8 laps that they signed off. Mike getting them ready to go at the lights here. They're off. See Valley Corbeil getting a good strong drive here into the first corner. Kyle Van Konen, he's also already up front. He's taking the lead. As you can see, these guys going down the backstretch, they're getting close to that outside line, closer to the grass. And our top 4 riders right now, Kyle Van Konen, Brandon Valley, Shane Corbeil, and Dustin Lambert. Now these 4, it's a little bit tighter of a pack all day that we've seen between these 4 riders. You know, all very aggressive riders, and do the best that they can to you know, put on a good performance, good show here for Flattrack Canada in Burford. Now this track has a funny shape to it, as we discussed before earlier in the day with Aaron. It has a sharper corner 4 than most tracks, and you're going to find that a lot of these guys are scrubbing off as much speed as they possibly can going into corner 3, squaring themselves up on the outside to shoot down straight on the inside of the track here. As you can see, Corbeil's up near the bales there, but everyone makes that dive down to the inside coming out of corner 4. So Kyle Van Konen still leading the charge here for Flattrack Canada, putting on a great show. We had a wonderful day here today. The weather's been cooperative all day, and you can see Kyle's just dropping the hammer here, just starting to pull away from Valley. Now it's going to be an interesting battle for second, as we got Valley and Corbeil. Now those 2 also we've been paying attention to all day. They've been battling it out. Our points leaders back and forth between them 2, and it's going to be a really interesting season. This is one of the starting shows of our season, and we're really happy to be bringing you this webcast series. So this is something that you can review at the end of the season, go back, see all the highlights of the racing, but there's not too much happening in this race right now because our top 4 riders are single file, gapped out quite a bit. Kyle Van Konen's got a little bit more of a lead than between everybody else, but other than that, everyone else is sitting in about the same position. You can see Rob Churchill rounding up that 5th spot there. So Kyle Van Konen coming down through another lap here, going by Mike Zalaska there, our head referee, who we talked to earlier as well. You know, Mike's doing a great job this season. We really appreciate all of his help for coming out here and officiating all of our races. So Kyle Van Konen still holding the charge here. So we're just gonna sit back and watch this for a bit. Kyle taking a look over his shoulder, just waiting, just checking out and see where everybody's sitting as far as it's going for the racing. Now he knows he's got a little bit of comfortable lead. I know with most racers, once you have a comfortable lead, you tend to fall off pace a bit, not push yourself, and not take any extra risks. I believe that's what Kyle's going to be doing. You can notice that he's sitting up a little bit straighter, going into his going down the back straightaways, and especially into his corners. You'll see he just takes another quick little look there over his shoulder, sees Valley in second there, and yeah, not too much happening in this race right now because of the single file format. Valley and Corbeil, not too big of a gap between them two. If Corbeil gets a good little charge or a good run here or a wicked exit coming on one of these corners, he might have a shot at catching up to Valley. All it takes is one quick little mistake and everyone's all over you. But Dustin Lambert sitting in that 4 spot there, and he's not too far off pace either. But this race is all Kyle Van Konen. He just seems to be pulling away more and more each lap. I believe that was Mike Salaska with the white flag out for Kyle. So one more lap to go here. Now Kyle coming into corner 3. Corner 3, corner 4. This is where it gets a little sketchy for everybody, but Kyle goes through. No problem on this. And as he's heading down that final straightaway towards his checkered flag for the production frame intermediate class here in Burford. Second place is going to be Brandon Valley, and third goes to Shane Corbeil. And not wasting any time at all, we're going to jump right into the production frame expert class here. Riders are already taking off the line. See Tyler Seguin putting that hard charge out there on the outside line. Those KBR bikes, well built, you know, well-rounded bikes, but he is just battling it out there. With Parker Norris, the number 241, you can see these two riders heading into corner 3. Seguin pushing it a little bit harder on the outside, gets ahead of him, and then cutting down on that inside line that we've been talking about the whole time. So Tyler Seguin already jumping out, getting ahead of the racing here. Parker Norris holding on to everything he can right behind Tyler Seguin there. And this is going to be an interesting battle between these two riders here on this production frame expert class. Parker Norris getting a little bit loose coming out of corner 2 there, losing some speed, but he's just hoping to do everything he can there to get some more throttle on Tyler. And Tyler holding very strong to the start of the season already, doing very well. Obviously looking for a big win here today, and just start to make a little bit of a gap in the rest of the group. So Parker Norris sitting in second place there. Not sure who's sitting in third, but I'm sure we'll get a shot here in a moment. But we're just going to keep our focus on Tyler Seguin, who's making short work of this track here in Burford, looking real strong, real smooth, and carrying the speed very well. Getting a little loose there, so first mistake there by Tyler Seguin might give Parker Norris a little bit of a chance to catch up, but getting right back into his tuck, right down those straight and keep going. We're going to sit back and pay attention here and just take it in as we watch Tyler Seguin, the number 22 KBR rider, heading around the track. Now, unfortunately, we got reports of Brandon Seguin. He's gone down. He's gone through the bales at the other end of the track here. So everyone's going to start checking out. Red flag thrown by Mike Zalaska. And we're going to have a single file restart when we get back onto the restart here, much like the Supercross style single file restart. We're going to stagger the riders back, and then we'll get a restart going here. But we got our cameraman, Anthony Zardo. He's got the ambulance coming out of the track here. We're going to get a shot down at the corner. Brandon is on the ground. Tyler's going over to check up on him. Obviously, hard to see a family member like that over on the ground. But we're going to get an update here in a moment, and we'll go from there. Okay, so with a little bit of a delay with Brandon Seguin going through the hay bales, we are back to racing. Now Brandon, he's a little sore, he's a little banged up, but he's doing okay. He did not need to go to the hospital. Obviously got the wind knocked out of him. Going to be a little bruised up, but he'll be back to racing at our next national event in Welland. So right back onto the charge is Tyler Seguin. Parker Norris sitting right behind him there, close by. I believe that was Don Taylor sitting there in third. I could be wrong. Need to see these guys come by so we can get an idea of where everyone's sitting. Oh no, that's Fast Freddy Dejeunot, the number 24 rider from Quebec. Obviously, he's doing really well in the Flat Track Canada Series, putting on hard chargers everywhere he's been going. But Fast Freddy, he might even have enough jam here to catch up to Parker Norris. Tyler Seguin's starting to gap out just a little bit over Parker. But this race is going to get a little interesting here, as we can see Fast Freddy coming up behind our leaders. See these riders really pushing it into corner two. Corner one, corner two, sorry. A little bit more of a sweeper. Corner three, corner four, it goes a little wide, then it cuts down and gets real short. I think some of these riders have really started to figure it out coming into the main events here today. And obviously it's working really well, really strong for Tyler. Tyler had a little bit of a rough day earlier in one of his heat races. He did crash as well. He had another rider whose motor locked up. He slid out in front of him. Tyler decided to light up his brakes as well too, but we'll talk to Tyler later on in the day about that, and we'll catch up and figure out exactly what happened. But we got Tyler Seguin coming around, I believe, for his last lap here, coming down to the checkered flag. Or it will be the next lap. We're going to find out here shortly. Yeah, checkered flag right there for Tyler Seguin. Parker Norris taking the second spot, and Fast Freddy Dejeunot from Quebec, our French rider, taking the third spot. That's going to do it for our production frame expert class. Okay, jumping right back into the action, we got the open intermediate class here. Unfortunately, we only have 4 riders filling this class here in Burford. And we got Shane Corbeil going out for the early lead here going into corner 1. Kyle Van Conant sitting in second. Valley putting on a little bit of a charge, coming back from fourth there, going around Dustin Lambert on the outside. Valley's getting a good run going here, but it's Kyle Van Conant who gets the drive out of corner 2, gets by Shane Corbeil, leaves a little bit of a gap, and Valley is hunting down Corbeil. So we got a little bit of a battle going on here with the whole pack of racers in this class, because this is very close. But Kyle Van Conant getting some amazing drive coming out of these corners. Starts to gap out, but we're going to pay attention to Corbeil and Valley, because this seems to be where all the battling is going on. Dustin Lambert closing up on them, so it's anyone's game for second place here right now. Kyle Van Conant right back out front, leading just like he was in the production frame class. Now, the open class, you can choose to run a production frame bike again, or you can switch up to another open class bike, which would be a framer or any kind of motor really that you put together here. And it's considered safe by Mike Alaska to bring on out. So Kyle Van Conant still leading the charge here. And it's going to be Valley and Corbeil still battling it out in second here. Corbeil's just got a little bit of a gap over Valley. You can see Corbeil out there on that sweet-looking framer. But Valley getting a drive on Corbeil, pushing it to the inside here. Valley's going to get by Corbeil, but does Corbeil have a response here to cut down on the inside of him, get around Valley? Doesn't look like it, but Corbeil's probably going to be sneaking out a couple moves here, coming into these next corners. But it's Kyle Van Conant who's just... he's gapped out. He's checked out. This race is pretty much him, as long as he can stay smooth and consistent for the rest of it. Doesn't even, yeah, he's looking over his shoulders, just seeing where everybody is, and I don't think he's got too much to worry about. But it's this battle for second that we keep going back to, because it seems to be the interesting thing. But you can see on the left side of your screen there, it was nowhere to be found was the rest of the pack. So Kyle's just got this track figured out. Obviously, his bike's completely set up perfectly for the rest of for this track for the day, and he just seems to be leaving everybody else behind here. Back to the racing, it's Valley in second, Corbeil sitting in third. Corbeil definitely putting on a charge here. You can see him catching up to Valley, pushing it hard into the corner here. Dustin Lambert sitting in 4th place. He's not too far off as well. Now Corbeil and Valley going into that corner 1 side by side. We're going to see who comes out on top here. Kyle Van Kone keeps looking over his shoulder. I don't think he really needs to be looking over his shoulder. I think he's got to be looking ahead and seeing what's coming up in front of him on the track here. But hey, he's got a bunch of built-up confidence. You know, he rode really well in the production frame class. Won that by an abundance amount of lengths over the rest of the competitors. But where is Corbeil and Valley? They go by. It's still Valley, Corbeil. Dustin Lambert still sitting in the 4th spot. But Kyle Van Kone is just cleaning house today here in Burford. Obviously, it's going to be a huge win for him. Oh, getting a little sloppy, dragging his foot there. You can see it kick up a bit. Well, that would probably help him ride a little bit more consistent and safe now, because he knows he can't afford to be doing that. Now, in the upcoming weeks, we will be strapping GoPros to these riders so you can get a first-hand perspective of the onboard of what all this racing is going to be like. And it's going to give us a whole different kind of angle to work with. You're going to get really excited. It's going to be action-packed because you will see how close, how fast, and how aggressive these riders really are on the track. It's a little bit harder to see that from one camera angle, one point of view, but as time goes on, we will show you what's going on with all this. So Valley still sitting in that 2nd spot on that sweet-looking Kawasaki, and Corbeil on the framer, still holding on to that 3rd spot. Dustin Lambert not too far off pace as well, but he's still hanging in there too, sitting in that 4th spot. So as Lambert goes into the corner, Kyle comes out of the corner. He receives his white flag from Mike Zalaska. So 1 more lap to go, and then we got our winner for the day here in the Open Intermediate class. Now, I don't know if Corbeil and Valley are going to have enough to battle back and forth here to make a show, but we're going to be following that here closely after we get out of corner 4. Kyle Van Kone coming down the final straightaway to his checkered flags. Coming in that 2nd spot is Brandon Valley, followed up by Shane Corbeil. That's going to do it here today for our Open Intermediate class. Okay, the final race of the day, Caitlin Hesmer coming off the line here. Mike Zalaska getting everyone's attention. He's going to be pointing at the lights for our Open Expert Final. Bunch of riders on the line here. Here we go. We are underway. Heading to the first corner. It is Tyler Seguin again, I believe. But who's this coming up on the outside? That's Don Taylor railing the outside line. All these riders, we got a full class here going on. Top 3 riders, all within 15 feet of each other here. Top 5 riders now, everyone's closing in. This is anyone's game here. As we can see, Tyler Seguin falls a little bit off pace there on the outside line, gets pinched out. Don Taylor coming down the first straightaway here. Don Taylor, Tyler Seguin, Parker Norgers wrapping out the 3rd spot there. You can see Don just killing it on this bike. Tyler Seguin's back on the DTX bike. I don't believe he's running the framer here today. Wasn't feeling too comfortable on it. You can see the rest of the pack here. There's John Parker, the number 11 Kawasaki rider. Everybody knows John Parker. He's been around for quite a while. We will catch up with him in a team talk later on this season. A bunch of these riders, we're always looking forward to giving a little bit more exposure to everybody, showing the faces of the races here, as we like to say it. And Don Taylor just leading the charge down here down the back straightaway. It's going to be hard to catch Don. Don's been running solid all day. Likes to run that outside line. That's the most common thing that we've noticed about Don, especially on the starts. Loves to rail it around the outside. But he is one to flirt with the bails for sure. He can hold it all the way out as far as he wants, and then roll that throttle back on, pull the bike back down to the inside of the track. But it's our battle for second that's starting to heat up. As you can see, I believe that's Fast Freddy Dejeunot sitting back there in fourth, and Parker Norris just ahead of him. We've got John Parker and Chris Evans battling it out there in the 5th, 6th spot. And we got back here, we got Alex Olson, I believe. Matty Ward. Matty Ward coming off injury not too long ago, so he's just taking it easy out there. Might be up for a little bit of a Sunday ride. Don Taylor already halfway ahead of the track, above our last place rider there. And Don just holding the throttle down, dropping the hammer. Obviously doing really well, really strong today. We will probably be catching up with him in the winner's circle here. But it's going to be that battle for second that leaves us all wondering who's going to take it. So we'll go back to our riders here. We got Tyler Seguin sitting in second. Fast Freddy making the moves, got by Parker Norris at some point there, but he's got his sights set on Tyler Seguin. So Fast Freddy going to be putting on that charge. He's going to be looking for something to talk about as he has that long drive back to Quebec. Parker Norris dropping way off pace there. He seems to be dropping back quite a bit. Not sure exactly what happened. Maybe he just got a little bit loose, lost a bunch of traction, maybe burned out his tire a little bit too much, because once that traction goes, it's a little bit harder to hold on. Keep your momentum coming out of these corners, get that drive, get that push going down those straightaways. As we can sit here and watch Don Taylor still flying around the track, screaming, making that number 1 plate look good. Going by Mike Zalaska again. Way to the outside line, we noticed that. Out in that deep, dark cushion on the outside of the track here at Burford. Tyler Seguin still fighting off Fast Freddy. Fast Freddy dropping off pace just a little bit there, but we notice Fast Freddy makes up a bunch of time in his corners. Parker Norris not driving it in as hard as what you'd think. There's Chris Evans. Obviously, he got by John Parker there on the number 11 Kawasaki machine. Kawasaki always backing up John Parker, making him look good. And then as we go halfway across the track, we got our battle for second. Fast Freddy making a move on Tyler Seguin, driving it down and hard on the inside. Tyler Seguin going to the outside. Wonder if he's going to make a move coming back on the inside here around Fast Freddy. Fast Freddy holding it, starting to make a great drive off, getting ahead of him. Don Taylor nowhere to be found. Those guys coming into corner 1. Don Taylor coming out of corner 2. Now it's back to the battle for second. Fast Freddy and Tyler. Tyler seems to be falling off pace here, making small little mistakes. This might solidify the end results here for our open expert. We got Don still screaming around the track. Nothing changing there. Mike Zalaska out with the white flag, so one more lap to go for Don Taylor before he grabs a win here at Burford. Amazing amount of speed, how fast he's driving these bikes into the corners. Don Taylor's going to be the guy to watch out for this season, but also don't forget about that number 22, Tyler Seguin. It's going to be a pretty common thing that we talk about these two riders a lot, because these are the two guys that just battle non-stop back and forth. But rounding on that second spot, Fast Freddy Dejeunot just over Tyler Seguin. Tyler Seguin didn't get enough of a drive on the inside line, but we're going to go check in with our riders down at Victory Lane here very shortly. Parker.
All right, here on the last spot of the podium, Tyler Seguin, number 22. Tyler, you had an up and down day, so why don't we talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, practice, I put her in the bales pretty hard. I was hurting all day, struggling to even get my leg over the bike, and kind of just had to tough it out throughout the day and get a good ride going.
So what goes through your mind when you have a bale like that, you go through the hay bales? How do you mentally prepare yourself for this?
I kind of just try to take it right out of my mind. I got to forget right about it and just not think about it at all.
Well, you always know those bikes are always going to be good and ready to go from Kurt Beeger. He's always wrenching on your bikes, doing a great job. So with the last performance of the last race there, you're battling it out with Freddie. Just kind of fell off pace a little bit, but what are you going to do to prepare yourself for the next event?
You know, I'm just gonna put my head down, get all week, get ready, and hopefully, we'll be ready for the next race.
All right, chasing down that number 1 plate, number 22, Tyler Seguin. Okay, so I'm here with our second place winner here in the Open Expert class for Flat Track Canada today. Now, Fast Freddy Desjardins, you went out there, you had a great time today, good ride. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, I have a good start, and it was a rough track, but I I keep the gas on and try to pass Tyler, and he gave me a good fight. But with the inside line, I pass him and keep my second place. And
well, hey, there's nothing wrong with getting second place here. It is the start of the season. Now you're going to be back for more events, aren't you?
We're gonna try, but the money will decide it.
It's a little bit of a drive for you. So tell us a little bit where you're from.
Yeah, Three Rivers. It's far than Montreal.
Okay.
It's 8 hours, and it costs a lot of fuel.
Right on. Well, Fast Freddy here today, Desjardins, and taking that second place today. All right, everybody, that's going to do it here for us in Burford today for Flat Track Canada. And I'm standing with the number 1 plate holder, Don Taylor. Now, Don, you went out there, rode a wicked race, got way ahead of the pack. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I just wanted to get out front and not have to deal with the mess of bikes in the corner. The track was falling apart, and I figured if I could get out front earlier and just give myself some breathing room, it gives me some little bit of space if I make a mistake. I ended up off the track a little bit there, the one lap, but everything went as planned. I stayed on the bike and took home another win.
So what's in it for you for now? Is it practice again tomorrow, or are you going to go back, tear down the bike, and then just get ready for the next event?
We're actually going to go. I'm going to go ride some motocross tomorrow and test out my new KTM 450 at the Welland test track. So, get the DTX bike set up and get it ready for the first Welland National.
Right on. Can never stay off 2 wheels. So Don Taylor, number 1 plate winner here in the Open Expert. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for us today here at Burford for Flat Track Canada. As you can see behind us, the track just took a beating today with all these awesome riders out here. We really look forward to seeing everyone out at Welland at round 4.